Hey everybody, welcome back to Dishing Tea with D. Um, yes, very rare I do a late night. Okay, keep it down here. Okay, so when court, we're gonna cover the Diddy case, and before we do, I just want to let you know May 25th is National Missing Children's Day, and we are honoring that day all month long and trying to push out as many missing children stories and pictures and information as much as possible. Um, Again, if you have any knowledge of about any missing child, please contact your local authorities. If not, contact the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-843-5678. That is 1-800 the lost. So, we're just gonna kind of go into it. I heard it was a long day at court. Usually the last couple of days I've been trying to break it to you as it comes out. But today, I had to just kind of catch up from not doing anything for Mother's Day. Thanks. Happy Mother's Day to everybody, or belated Mother's Day. Let me see. Hey Temper, how are you? Welcome. So I don't know if you're gonna be staying or how long you're gonna be staying, but I heard this was a very treacherous day. Um, I There's some things that shouldn't be said, so I am gonna try to watch what I say as much as possible. So if I stop and hesitate, I'm probably thinking about if I can say it or not. Also, let me just kind of go through routine information. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that may otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. As well, all people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And I'm just expressing my First Amendment right and my opinions and opinions. Facts are facts, and my research is my research. Please do your own. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Okay, so we're gonna go back to 8:30 this morning, and yes, very crucial, very crucial. So we're gonna start. It starts at well, as far as this reference back all the way to 8:37 a.m. in the morning, Sean Combs has still not been brought into the courtroom. The lawyers are milling around. Brian still comes up to Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey to shake hands. Agnifilo and Alexandra Shapiro conferring. First step, peremptory challenges to 45 prospective juries. So that's where they kind of left off on Monday. They kind of just pushed it. I mean, on Friday, they kind of just waited to Monday for the jurors selection and then continue on with the open statements. So at 8:53 a.m., Sean Combs is now in the courtroom wearing a light sweater instead of last week's dark blue sweater. He turns and blows a kiss to family members in the second row of the gallery. 8:56. Clerk, are the parties ready? Yes. Clerk states, Mr. Combs, were you able to get some water? Will made arrangements for that. Judge has still not come into the courtroom. 9:03 a.m. Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos are poring over papers, presumably for peremptory challenges to prospective jurors. Combs wearing reading glasses. I mean, what is he, like 60 years old? So I'm sure with all that gray hair that he can't cover up no more. But I mean, I mean, if you didn't know he had gray hair, I mean, please show me somebody that's 60 years old that doesn't have gray hair. I would love to see it. Okay. Natural. Combs, wearing reading glasses, is also looking down at papers. Three of six prosecutors are looking at or typing on their cell phones. So, 9:26 a.m., Combs's lawyer Agnifilo and prosecutor Maureen Comey are the ones in with the judge, presumably doing the preemptory strikes to the jury pool. In NYS court, this is all done in public, in the courtroom, on the record. Wait for announcement of jurors. 9:34 a.m. and we're off. Judge, good morning, states, good morning. We are here for preparatory challenges. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey, we strike juror 51. Agnifilo, Agnifilo, we strike 52 and 106. Comey, we strike 216. Agnifilo states 157 and 112. Comey, we strike 118. Agnifilo, we strike 127 and 131. So how many strikes was that already? I'm like, don't they get what, like, I forgot. I know they mentioned it in the prior. Um, a, Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey, we strike 81. Agnifilo, we strike 149 and 20. Comey, we strike 161. Agnifilo states, we strike 22 and 84. Comey, the defense was only supposed to strike one in this round. Agnifilo, so we strike only 22. Well, yeah, because he was striking like everybody. Comey states, we strike 163. Agnifilo, we strike 84. So they're narrowing this down. They're keeping on going. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey states, we strike 220. Agnifilo states, we strike 25. Comey states, I believe he was supposed to strike in the alternative. Oh, Lordy. Already starting. Already. Agnifilo gives states, give me 1 second, confers with Nicole Westmoreland. 218. Comey states, we strike 324. Agnifilo 240. Comey, we strike 281. Agnifilo states, one moment. Combs' lawyer Agnifilo states, I note that the government has struck seven. Description of people out of nine strikes. I guess I can say black people. I don't know if but that's what's written. So I'm just gonna keep on reading. Judge states, I'll give you a change to raise that, but let's continue. I'm assuming he meant to say chance to raise that, but okay. Agnifilo states, we'll strike 307. Judge says our jurors are 2, 5, 25, 28, 55, 58, 75, 116, 160, 184, 201, 217, 230, 234, 247, 292, 321, and 330. Agnifilo states the U.S. struck seven black people, which amounts to a pattern. Judge states an application has been made under Batson. Mrs. Comey, Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey, we are neutral. I mean, I don't know all the percentages of the races there, so can't make any comment on that. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey states Juror 51 knew 17 of the names appear to have seen making the band, has a relative with law enforcement issues. The next strike, he harassed a police officer and didn't report it. His sister had an issue. This clears the bar. These are good reasons. I mean, that covers two. E- Um, so they were removed. Yeah, yes, they are removing as many, I guess, black jurors on the jury. I don't know what the game plan is. I'm not a lawyer, so this is very interesting because. But this reminds me, I don't know if you ever watched the show Bull, where he reads the jury and figures out ways to convince the jury so that way the outcome of the jury always ends up in his favor. But anyway, let me see. Assistant Comey says okay, the Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey states, Juror 81, we think they claim to have special knowledge of bipolar issues. 161 states he said he watched news about the case that morning. He said he was inevitable, or it was inevitable. He'd lose 30% of his income, but wants on. He has an agenda. We struck 163. Assistant U.S. Attorney states we struck 163, I believe, for cause due to English proficiency, and he had a relative who shot a police officer. Among the alternates, we barred a person who went to Mr. Combs's high school. The next one, 324, has sleep apnea. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey states he also called the police as so on and so forth. And we struck him. And 281, she said victims can catch a case and jump on a bandwagon. We think she has an agenda. These easily clear Batson's bar. So basically, they're just giving reasoning for their strikes of these jurors that just so happen to be all black. So, judge states, I deny the defense's Batson challenge. These were not based on purposeful discrimination. Mr. Agnifilo, anything more? Then Agnifilo comes in and states, nothing from us. Okay, then it goes to 10:17, so that took about a good hour. And they were stating it was only supposed to take like 10, 15 minutes, but we all know men's timing is never right. So then judge states, oh no, jurors are seated. So all the jurors that were kept, that list of jurors that I had mentioned, um, they come in, they are seated. How many were there? I didn't count them. 18? How would they be 18? Anyway, again, those were 2, 5, 25, 28, 55, 58, 75, 116, 160, 184, 221, and 330. Right, right. And they're looking for people who are going to be sympathetic to breaking the law and yeah, not. And then of course medical issues. Why would you want somebody on the jury that has medical issues? Like that just that just doesn't make sense. Okay, but we're gonna cry that it was intentional. Okay, so on to okay. Jurors are seated. Judge states, "Welcome back." Like they had a choice. This is U.S. versus Sean Combs. We will be providing lunch for you in the jury room. We will not release your names to the public. Clerk swears in jurors. If nobody in the public hasn't figured out who these people are already. Let's see how long these jurors' identity stays secret in this case. So, anyway, judge then states questions are not evidence. Only the answers given by the witnesses and the documents are evidence. You can consider circumstantial evidence like someone walking in with a dripping umbrella. You can summarize it's rain, basically assume it's raining outside even if you don't see it. Then judge states that a witness uses a pseudonym. This words always reminds me of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I'm sorry. But anyway, it does not mean that their testimony is worthy of less weight. During the trial, do not read or view or listen to anything about the case. And don't post anything. Once the U.S. rests, the defense can present, and should he choose to, Attorney U.S. Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson, this is Sean Combs. To the public, he is a cultural icon, a businessman, larger than life, but there was another side to him. You will hear about 20 years of defending crimes. He had a team to help him: kidnapping, arson, drugs, sex crimes. Oh well, no monetize it. I'm just gonna read it as it is. Um, Assistant U.S. Attorney Johnson. Let's start with one might. He was on the hunt for his girlfriend Cassie. He forced her to have with male workers while he watched and recorded it. He found out Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and the other man. Assistant U.S. Attorney continues. He woke an employee to drive to the house, but no one was there. The defendant didn't give up. He kept looking for Cassie. When he found her, he beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and flinging her around like a rag doll. But it wasn't enough. That is right. That's right. No sympathy for him at all. That is. Uh, but he, assistant U.S. attorney continues. He told Cassie he could release video of her having with male workers. You fill in the blanks. He broke into a man's house and he beat and blackmailed his girlfriend. These are not his only crimes. Cassie is not the only woman he beat and sexually exploited. 20 years of crimes. Assistant U.S. Attorney continues. He had a business, Bad Boy Records, that made him right. He relied on his bodyguards, chiefs of staff, who ran all aspects of his life. The group promoted his power. His bodyguards kidnapped an employee, set a car on fire, dangled a person from a balcony, pretty much. Assistant U.S. Attorney continues. They delivered um, narcotics wherever he said, including two women he forced to have with workers. He transported them across state lines and even out of the country. Let me be very clear, this case is not about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. Attorney continues, this was criminal. He coerced and even used violence. Along this trial will focus on two women, Cassie and Jane. We will show that the defendant used, lied, and threats and violence to force them to have blank with him in front of male workers. So basically, he would basically tell them whatever they wanted to hear, and they would kind of comply, but not because they were willingly, it's because unfortunately a want was greater than a need, or, you know. Assistant U.S. Attorney, he called them freak offs, Wild King Nights, or Hotel Nights. Wild King Nights? That's like some kind of game name or something that I would think. His like you would find on Criminal Minds where, the hacker, Wild King Nights, you've been hacked. Okay, his I wonder if that was Dana or what was it? Dana Tran, Baby Love's mom. Okay, anyway, his staff organized flights, cars, and hotels. At his discretion, his staff set up the room with lubricant and lighting. Yes, very much manipulation tactics. Yes. Yes. Staff came in with cash to pay the workers and the narcotics. Like, assistant U.S. attorney, he made them take MDMA or Molly and ecstasy. It made them sick, but also sexually aroused. He directed every step. I mean, he gave them specific drugs that make them. Like these are why people take them. These are like those people club scenes that are staying up or rays and like that kind of. But so he basically knew what he was doing, kind of thing. He directed every step. He expected the women to appear to enjoy themselves. He masturbated and recorded the events. Cassie was 19 with a hit song. Cassie tried to work on her music, but the defendant made her turn down many opportunities. She recorded, but he had the final say over the music she released. There was never another album. He sick Cassie in the head and dragged her by the hair. He hit Cassie in the head and dragged her by her hair. Okay. We all have typos. Assistant U.S. Attorney, he stomped on Cassie's face in an SUV, then made her stay in a hotel for a week to hide her injuries. He set up freak offs often as once a week. Oh, dang, and they would last a couple of days. So they would say she spent half of her time. That's where she spent half of her time. The defendant made a worker um the defendant made a worker urinate in her mouth. Yeah, we finding some things out now. I don't think they put that in the report, did they? So I don't remember hearing about that. Yeah, and it's not going to be very good things. Assistant U.S. Attorney, as you will see in this trial, he beat her in the hallway of a hotel to drag her back into the freak off. So I'm assuming that's the CNN video that's been leaked out to the public. Initially, she wanted to make him happy, but then she didn't want to. But the defendant made her. The consequences were severe. This is why women go crazy and you wake up with a shotgun near your head. Okay, Assistant U.S. Attorney, he beat her when he thought she took too long in the bathroom. Defying him would end in violence. She fled, but he found her. With the help of his inner circle, Cassie's career was in her hands. He told her he could destroy her career by releasing video. I mean, that's a hard position to be in. Like, would you just say, forget it, release it? But then he can still come after you. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you do in that situation besides taking his life instead of him taking yours? That is crazy. Because that's usually how most of the episodes on TV end up, where the women go psycho. Cassie held herself really well to not, and so did Kim. Oh my goodness. Because I probably would have gone psycho. Assistant U.S. Attorney, when he said to have a freak off, she knew she had no choice. She called the workers and put on the performances he wanted. Her safety depended on keeping him happy. The relationship was complicated, both were unfaithful, but only one of them had power. Right. I don't think it would be as powerful if it wasn't leaked to the public. especially if we're just getting, you know, people's opinion that were on the inside the courtroom, because we all know it's not able to be camera or, you know, televised. So, yeah, I don't think the video would be as powerful if we didn't see it. But I mean, good thing it was though, right? That was one good thing that was. I mean, it could have gone either way to where it would have hurt the case, but ultimately it was a good thing. People needed to see it. Unfortunately, assistant U.S. attorney when he's okay. Past that, he made Cassie do his bidding in those dark hotel rooms. Cassie was not the only one. This was a pattern. Let me tell you about Jane. She was a single mom that started spending time with him in 2020. She fell in love with him. He was seeing it other women. So why would you want to be with somebody that's seeing other women? Like, oh, see, he knows how to pick them. He knows how to pick them. Oh, these poor ladies. Y'all need a little more self-esteem. Yeah, they really are trying to. I mean, they were trying to not even have it in court, so that way they would have been like, "See, it's not. It wasn't real," and then they could have been like, "The judge thought it could have been not real, so he just decided not to have it in," or something like that. Yeah, they would have. They would have really. It wouldn't. Yeah, it would have been bad. It would have been bad. One night he told Jane about freak offs and made it happen immediately. He took her to a hotel where a worker was on the way. He directed her step by step. Jane thought it was a one time wild night. She was wrong. He continued, offering a real relationship. A single. Who was a single mom? I'm still trying to figure out who this Jane is, because I this is obviously Jane we know who didn't want to. And then we're still missing witness three, because I don't think witness three is anywhere to be found. So Jane wanted assistant U.S. attorney states Jane wanted the worker to wear CDs protection, but the defendant did not let them. Jane tried to make it through these nights without narcotics. The first time she broke down and took E to finish another. Wow. Another time she vomited, but he said, go do it again. Hmm. Assistant U.S. Attorney Jane found two men and invited them to join the freak offs so she could choose the man she'd be intimate with. I mean, makes sense. I mean, I could see the the manipulation in that, trying to, okay. So now she's starting to think like a criminal. She's been hanging around with Diddy too long. Um, he's innocent to proven guilty, but taking narcotics is kind of, I mean, illegal. So you kind of are a criminal. But anyway, um, the defendant discouraged her from working. He had the power to coerce her back into the hotel rooms. He threatened her with videos. So obviously he had tapes of her too. Assisting U.S. attorney, not even a year ago, he went to her house. Ooh, so just recently, probably like right before, with, within the time that, you know, the, sorry, from the time of Cassie's lawsuit to probably the time that he got arrested. It had to have been sometime during that time. She was angry. She hit him. He became enraged. She tried to hide. She locked herself in her bedroom. He kicked it open. Then the bathroom, the closet, the guest bedroom. He kicked her to the ground. Holy cow. So he just basically busted all her doors. Um, you better be paying me some money to fix them too. Jeez. Assistant U.S. attorney. But then she should have had cameras at her house. I would think if this was recently a year, most people would have cameras. So, Assistant U.S. Attorney Mia and employees would tell you how the defendant forces himself on her hand, on her. Oh, will tell you how the defendant forces himself on her, hand up her dress, penetrating her. Amidst all this violence, he and his inner circle worked to cover up his crimes. The video at the LA hotel, you would just you would just see how far this went. The defendant offered a hotel security guard a wad of cash, a brown paper bag with $100,000 in $100 bills. Circle kept Cassie in hiding for days. For all he is charged with and conspiracy. Jane of the most employees, including his personal assistant Mia, who he sexually. You will hear from the employee he forced into an SUV with a gun and from a chef. They worked punishing hours at times without sleep. They bought narcotics for him. They were expected to keep quiet. Some of these witnesses have already received settlements. Wow. They took the money. You guys. No. I would have taken him down. Mm-mm. Nope. I get my money the other way. I'll get my money from the good side. I'm going to take you down. Assistant U.S. Attorney, you will also hear from some of the escorts that the defendant directed them and filmed it. Oh, I did say, I'm sorry, I said the wrong word, but it's okay. A worker saw the defendant assault Cassie and drag her by the face during a freak off. You'll see records from hotels and damage and car services. Assistant U.S. Attorney, you will see text messages in which the defendant tells staff to bring cash for workers, and by Jane saying she did not want to do freak offs, you will see videos. In them, you can hear the defendant provide direction to Cassie and Jane high on some of those narcotics, which In this case, it was E. You will see a video of the defendant. This is a long opening for the assistant for the U.S. You will see a video of the defendant brutally beating Cassie during a freak off in the LA hotel. You will see photos of the damage, including to four doors in Jane's home not even a year ago. Okay, so they do have photos. Okay, lucky, lucky. You will see what he had in his home: guns, med bag of narcotics, and lube. I wouldn't be surprised it's the baby oil. Assistant U.S. Attorney. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. You will see the arrangement with the hotel guard barring him from speaking after he paid 100,000 for the video. You will hear him manipulate. Oh, so he doesn't have to get that money back. So he took your money and now he's going to testify because it says you will see the agreement. Picture or something. Maybe he did it. Oh, maybe the security camera. Did they do it at the hotel when you didn't ask for that? You will see the okay, barring from speaking at Pay 100. You will hear him manipulate Jane into saying she wanted it. His threats not to pay for her home text to his staff about it. I ask you to do three things: pay attention to the evidence, follow the judge's instructions on the law, use your common sense, and you will reach the verdict that Sean Combs is guilty. Judge states, who for the defense? Tenny Garregos, I will. Tenny Garregos, this case is about love and jealousy and money. They are trying to turn it into a racketeering case. It will not work. You are the jury. You will evaluate the witnesses, and finally, the story can come out. This case isn't about what you heard on the news. Sean Combs is fascinating. He grew up in Harlem and built lawful businesses. Wow. Okay. He worked for it. He created a culture and produced music that changed a generation. Oh my God, sounds like brown nosing to me. Okay. If you wanted to climb in music, apparel, or beverages, you wanted to be around Sean Combs. He gave people opportunities to work at his companies. He had a vision that few had. The witnesses mostly loved him. The text messages will show that. Tenny Garregos continues, he is 55 years old. Okay, I was close, 60. He is going to be, he's going to be Sean Combs. I am Tenny Garregos. I am honored to represent him. The only people in the courtroom who will tell you about racketeering are the prosecutors. There was no conspiracy. Fool you, conspiracy. Tenny Garrigo, I'm sorry. I'm such a kid. You are. Okay. Tenny Garregos, this case is about Sean Combs' private sex life. The government has no business in that. These hardworking individuals were educated from Harvard to Howard University. He has a temper and got violence. He is not proud of that. We own it. Sure. You didn't own it before this. Tenny Garregos, he sometimes gets so jealous or angry, he is out of control. You will hear that's called a psycho. It's called you need what why am I blanking here? Where you gotta stay away. But anyway, like you may think he is a jerk or mean. He is. If you get angry, that is mean. But he's not tried for that. He's tried for running a racketeering enterprise. This is domestic violence. Will we spend it on things that is considered illegal? Hmm. Attorney U.S. Assistant U.S. Attorney, domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, we would not be sitting through an 8-week trial. He is not guilty of these crimes. As the trial goes on, we are going to take on accountability. We would not shy away because you have no other choice. I mean, you're only taking a. I'm only going to take accountability for what is legal to do. Like, please, everything else is fabricated. Like, homie, please. Tenny Grego's Sean, not assistant U.S. attorney, and Sean Combs had a bit of a different sex life. The alleged victims were all getting something from him. They are adults. They too must take on responsibility for their lives as he does for his. A free choice has pros and cons. Yeah, if they were willing and not under any influences. Tenny Garregos, you evaluate these women. They made free choices every day for years. Ask yourself, what were all the ways this individual had the ability to make these choices? Ask, what is this person getting? Something they want? It may differ. Jealousy drove choices of the victims. Combs never married, but he is a many woman man. It's disgusting. He is always in multiple relationships. He was not always honest. It drove a primal jealousy. Sean Combs is extremely jealous. You might think it's hypocritical. It's narcissistical. That's what that is. And it's crazy. Crazy. Tenny Garregos, they remained in multi year relationships. Tenny Garregos states they remained in multi year relationships with him. These women were in love with him. Infidelity and jealousy drove the violence. Alcohol and drugs drove things. But he is not racketeer. This case is about his relationship with Cassie and Jane. Tenny Garregos, you will hear about swinger parties. They will testify about things they should never be heard in federal courtroom that he liked to watch. You may not like that, but you are not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. If they're willing, again, I'm going to put in that opinion and statement and comments if they were willing. Okay, I like how he lives that out because that's the only way to complete that sentence. Teddy Garregos states a wealthy rapper paid for these women's homes and vacations. He is not charged with being flawed individual. These women fought to be in a relationship with him. Cassie, I expect you will hear from her this week about her 11-year relationship. Dang, 11 years. Oh, I can't imagine. Then Kim too dealt with the same amount of time. I think more. I mean, she probably would have still been dealing with it. I don't know. I don't know if one or two things were different if this ever would have came up the way it did or at all. Wow. Like, wow. Tenny Garregos states Combs with Kim Porter, the mother of four of his children. He continued with her until her death from pneumonia in 2018. Ugh, wasn't even. Yeah, I wish they would go back and look at that and figure that out. His fights with Cassie were about cheating. It was a toxic relationship. They loved each other. It wasn't about cheating. She didn't want to be with him, and he forced her to be with him. Like that is not a relationship. I don't know where this man is delusional. Like typical man thinking. That's how they freaking normalize cheating and being open relationship and stuff like that. No. Tenny Gray goes, will Cassie will tell you about the jealousy of Kim Porter, then Gina, the day of the hotel hallway. Jealousy was on display. Violence by the elevator bank 10 years ago. You will see it later today. What Combs did is indefensible. Right. They're trying to normalize these things and it's not. It's not. They want them to be normal, but it is not normal. That's why yeah, I no, she didn't want to be with him. He forced her, and that's not a relationship. And whoever tells this dude that it is here. Go to the loony bin. Okay. Um. Okay. Sorry. Combs comes down wearing only a towel. He stomps her and drags her by her hoodie. He comes back around to get a phone. What causes a fight about a phone? Phone keeps Phones keep the secrets of infidelity. As soon as he gets the phone, he sits down. He's visibly disgusted. Cassie calls security. You will hear from him later today. The guard tells him to leave the public area. It shouldn't even be on the table. I mean, it's about to go down. It actually like I I'm sure I'm sure it shouldn't be, but and then like and then the security guard like where you're supposed to protect kind of your security guard, so how much authority do you have? But oh my goodness, how about you? I would have been like her security guard after that. I would have been like, yo dude, you pay me, like I'll take the blows or something, because this is cray cray what you're doing to this poor girl. Okay. Sandy Gallegos continues, you will see Cassie telling him to get back to the hotel room. They stayed together 2 more years after this incident. Well, hello. Even into 2018, they are fighting to stay together. She saw a photo of Combs with Gina. He started with her in 2014. Oh God, this I don't know. It's like let him let him have her. Let her have him. Like peace out, yo. That would have been my break. That would have been like my sign. Like is that this is my escape route? Like can I use this in some way? Sorry, Gina, but I gotta go. Tenny Garagos states Cassie had a choice every single day to stay with him. That was her better choice. Until she broke up with him, she was not coerced. When she left, there were no repercussions. So they say. She ran into the arms of a physical trainer Combs had hired to train her. Yeah, you can't. There is just no way. There's just no way you can normalize all this. Like, and then just to say it's a lifestyle, like this lifestyle isn't normal. It's one thing to be freaky. Yes, and I see you call it freakoms, but there is still a line you cross to where it's completely psycho. Combs's lawyer continues, the only freak offs you would see at this trial were on her phone, not his. But okay. In November of 2018, Kim Porter passes away from pneumonia. Cassie did everything to be there for him. She flew to Georgia amidst a breakup. She flew to be with him. So basically, so that was so bad timing right there. She was in the middle of a breakup. She started dating a physical, I guess, I shouldn't say dating, but maybe seeing a physical trainer Combs had hired. So why was she, if it wasn't for Kim Porter's death, she probably would have been able to stay away a little longer and who knows, may not have gone back with him. But yeah, it's hard when you're in a relationship that long, even if it's an abusive and you know better. It's just emotions sometimes get the best of you, or sometimes even kind hearted, and that good heart's just like, well, there's always that chance. So, Tenin Garagos continues, Combs said, Kim was my soulmate. The end of the relationship between Combs and Cassie was triggered by that. Cassie realized all the things she would not be. So, wait. So he's trying to. She wanted to be Combs's wife, the love of his life. She spent 11 years trying. No, they are not. They are blaming Cassie, saying Cassie was obviously okay. Obviously, they raised today. Sean Combs was angry because he was jealous. Now she's saying, now they are stating, because they're blaming Kim. That, okay, that's just horrible. That's just horrible. Blaming Cassie for that. Because Cassie realized she could never be Kim Porter. and wanted to be wifey and all this other stuff. She was so jealous that so they're saying she was more violent than Cole. Like, no, 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 no. We're not gonna get no. We're not even gonna entertain that fact. Okay. Tenny Gallegos continues. Cassie married the trainer and is pregnant with her third child or in her third trimester. I don't know what he's trying to say there. Evaluate Combs's intent at the time. For those 11 years, the messages will show she was a willing participant in their sex life. Cassie's testimony this week can't change that. Well, no, because he's obviously not going to want that on his hands. Just like, exactly, objection, objection. Like, we definitely, but they gotta understand if Diddy was sending the messages, making her send the messages, of course it's gonna sound like it's a willing participant because she's gonna sound like it's coming from him because technically the directions are coming from him. So, yeah. But no, but yeah, with the whole Kim Porter and Cassie wanted to be, no, we're not doing that. We're not entertaining that. So they're really trying to spin the narrative there. They're really trying to get that narrative going out there and make Cassie and Kim look bad. And forget that. Screw you. Screw all of them. Tenny Gregos in 2020 with Jane. Combs was more upfront. So in 2020, so who did he get with 2020? Was that Gina then? But they mentioned Gina earlier by her name, but they're not saying that that's Jane. So who is next? And he told her he was dating other women. She was what's her name? Oh, he proposed a consensual threesome. They went to a private hotel. I expect her to say she enjoyed it. Why would you expect her that? How do you know that that's what she likes? Like, ew, this dude. Go sit on a dildo and rotate, homie. Okay, so Tanika Regos continues. Jane was this desperate to be with him, to give him things others couldn't. She tried to make it more than sexual. I'm not sure how she will put it, but it always comes back to parties and hotel rooms. This was their time together. Well, when you're trying to impress somebody, you want to be with somebody, I guess. I don't know why you want to impress them like that and want to be the best he's ever had in that way, but ew, ew. So I can only imagine if he made a worker urinate in Cassie's mouth, what only you would do. Tenny Gregos then stated Jane did it for the cuddle. She wanted to make him happy. She was unable to resist him emotionally. Oh, this there was a phone call in November 2023. Even after that, she flew out to see him many more times. It was toxic, but she was willing. Let me hear the word stop in any of these videos, or let somebody say that they witnessed the word stop being used in any of these videos, or no, regardless of how it ended up being. Yes, I would love this. I would love for there to be something in this video that they didn't catch. She was driven to try to be the first place. This was the way to try to get there. This that is not a crime. There was a night a year ago when Jane hit Combs. It was Born out of jealousy, he hit back. She was overcome by jealousy. She slammed his head. She she slammed his head onto her kitchen counter. Months later, she flew to see him and invited a worker. She will call it one of her best nights. A wild king night. Oh, here we go with the wild king night. Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely a slap in the face. But I'm just hoping there's a lot in there's more in the video that may be caught, because I don't know if they go listen to those videos fine tooth and comb with earbuds in the ears, but I'll be listening to every single word and try to figure out who said what words at what time. And I will be listening for that no, leave me alone, stop, whatever, or just any slurs or anything like that to where they're not consciously available to make those types of decisions. The government told Tenny Garregos continues, Sean Combs' lawyer, the government told you about someone named Mia. Why are they making these allegations now? You were concluded that everyone has a motive. With Mia, she never said it before, nor when nor when she first started cooperating with the government. Mia. If this was so hostile, why did they not call the police? They are vindictive. Their motive is simple: money. Cassie filed a public lawsuit in November 2023. She was living in her parents' modest home in Connecticut. She went to a civil lawyer. The civil lawyer is here today. They went to civil lawyers to make a money grab. Cassie demanded 30 million. Another asked for 22 million. How many millions of reasons do these witnesses have to lie? The evidence will not make out the charges. Oh my God. He's just reaching. Kenny Gallegos on bribery. This is about the Intercontinental Hotel. He paid a security guard to make the footage go away. This was solely to prevent bad publicity for Combs and Cassie. There was no law enforcement investigation. Tenny Gallegos continues, the kidnapping related to an employee. She worked for him for 10 years. She asked to work for him again. Narcotic trafficking, it was personal use. They worked hard. They were there to do something great and novel. It was a free choice. There was no conspiracy. He was paying different men for their time and experience. Certain types of actors got paid. Hulkamania, Cowboys for Angels. You can pay money for time and experience. That is what Sean Combs was doing. What is it, an LLC or something? Oh my goodness. What's the name of this? Oh my goodness. me come back on the screen because that way you get the full effect of the story. Flores then states, I was told of the sixth floor. Flores, there I recognized Sean Combs. Oh, I was called to the sixth floor. I'm assuming he stated. He is there wearing a gray sweater. Assistant U.S. Attorney states, what was your title? Flores, Assistant Director of Security. Assistant U.S. Attorney continues, let me show you a photo of the Intercontinental Hotel. Flores states, is shaped like a pyramid. Judge admitted. Assistant U.S. Attorney, what kind of incidents do you respond to? Flores responds, all kinds. We had a couple of suicides there. We prepare incident reports, the 5 Ws. Assistant U.S. Attorney um, then asked, would would you attach photos to the reports? Flores states, yes, but not video. We did not have the password. Assistant U.S. attorneys then ask, when did this incident take place? Florida states, 11 a.m. I got a report of a woman in distress on the sixth floor. I closed the security base and checked the cameras. There was an African American man pacing back and forth. I didn't see a female. I rushed there. What did you see on the sixth floor? Assistant attorney asks. Flores says, Mr. Combs in a towel and some like color socks. He's a rapper producer and Cassie on the floor. U.S. attorney states, let me show you photos. And he shows them photos of, yes, Timber, I'm okay. Like I said, my baby just wanted an extra snack before bed. And of course, I give it to him. Cassie Cassie says she wanted her phone and her bag. Flores states Mrs. Cassie says she wanted to leave. Mr. Combs said, you're not leaving. I saw him inside the room, a male black man wearing dark clothing. U.S. Attorney then states, what did Mr. Combs do after Cassie left? He called for me. He was holding a stack of money, not to tell anyone, said Flores. U.S. U.S. Assistant Attorney State asks, what did you say? Flores states, I said, I don't want your money. The damage is going to be charged to your room. So what he was worried about the vase and whatever damages, but not, and what a fee for security going up there. Like, what? Oh my God, this dude. And you were okay. Well, you're in LAPD, so that excuses you of the way you think as a authority figure. Okay, where did Cassie go? The assistant attorney asks. Flores states, after I spoke with her, she left. A car pulled up. She left in a black SUV. Was there a driver? 7 feet. Okay, was the driver 7 feet or were they like 7 feet away? He said she wants, Flores states, he says she wants to leave. I said, I'm talking to her, not you. They left. And then assistant attorney continues to ask, then what? You know, Flores continues his story. We went up to Mr. Combs' room to remind him of hotel rules. He opens the door and grabs the phone and says, "Are you recording me?" I pinned him to the wall. I took photos of the broken vase to tell them to come clean it up. I went to write an incident report. Is that it? Attorney asked. My report with my name on it. Defense. Same objection. Judge stated noted. U.S. Attorney states, then did you review the video? Florida states, yes. Oh, so they excluded the whole no. Okay. So it wasn't just the amended part, it was the addendum part, it was the whole thing. Oh, so they excluded the entire thing. Good Lord Jesus. Stickler for the rules, are we now? Assistant U.S. Attorney states, I'm handling you a thumb drive with videos. Videos are shown. Assistant U.S. Attorney, did it have audio? Florida states, no. Assistant U.S. Attorney states, let's walk through it. Who is this? Cassie. And this? Mr. Combs. What's happening here? She picked up the wall phone. What did you find when you got there? The broken face. What is the end of this video? Me coming out of the elevator. Let's pull up the incident report again. Here we remind him that the checkout time was approaching. What did you add to the incident report after you reviewed the video? I described what I saw in the video. What else did you do with the video? I recorded 2 videos of it with my iPhone to show my wife at home, which I'm assuming it's against security policy as far as employment policies. Like, I would think that's like, I don't know, especially like, that's like a doctor. You're working in a doctor's office and you see somebody in the waiting room, you just don't start taking, like, your, no, like, that is private. Like, anyway, so no wonder you took the money and still was able to turn over the video. And this was enough. So you were able to get more money. You double dip, dude. Flotus's video of the Flotus's video of the video was his voiceover, including about how shiny his shoes were, is played for the jury. Did you work the next day? No, I had the next 2 days off. When you came back in, did you look for the video? I did, but it was gone. Did you ever see it again? Yes, recently. Nothing further. Judge, cross examination? Combs' lawyer, Brian Steele, asked, you said in your report was the 5 W's, right? Flores states, yes. I'm assuming like who, what, when, where, and why kind of thing. But let's see. Still states, you mentioned that when you get off the elevator at 11:14 or 11:15, you describe Mr. Combs as having a devilish expression on his face. That's my opinion. When you get off the elevator, what's in your hand? My radio. Mr. Combs did not attack you, did he? No. And was there any law enforcement involvement? No. You videoed for your wife and kept it, right? I did, but never was law enforcement called. They were not. You told the jury Mr. Combs said to Cassie, "You're not leaving," but your report did not say that, right? Flores states, at that point, I did not believe it was a significant fact. I'm not going to put down the back and forth. Still states, so it wasn't important 9 years ago, but only now. U.S. Attorney, objection. Judge overruled. Flores, I did not put in the report at the time. You said you were offered a bribe, but hadn't you told him he had to pay for the vase? Yes. The gentleman you say you saw in the room you described to the jury things not in your report. Flores states he didn't engage. Still states, why didn't you ask him his name? He wasn't talking to no one. Did you tell anyone at the time? No. And the 7 foot driver, oh, so driver was 7 foot. And 7 foot driver, do you know who it was? I don't know, but Cassie knew him. You didn't put in your report that you offered to call law enforcement, but she refused. Why not? She said no, so there was no reason to include it. You said you put Mr. Combs against the wall. That's aggressive, isn't it? It could be, but I only put my forearm against his chest. But you didn't put that in your report. You're asking me to have put more detail in my report. Do you remember the layout? No, just a corner room. Still asks, was it normal hotel room like I would stay in? Just one room or did it have a living room? The third the third oh, Flotus states, I don't know. Still asks, the third party, you said he was on a bed. Flotus, it was a pullout. You were in hospitality business as well as security, right? Yes, Mr. Combs, it was clear to you he wanted to pay for the he wanted to pay for the damage, right? U.S. Attorney objection, cause for speculation. Judge then asks, oh, then states, ask in a different way. It can be embarrassing for a guest. Objection, sustained. One moment, nothing further. Redirect. Did you typically include every single detail in your report? Flotus, no. Assistant U.S. Attorney state asks, did he seem drunk or high? Florida states, no. When he offered you money, what did he say? That he didn't want anyone to know about it, pretty much. Which which way Mr. Combs was is dragging Cassie? Back toward the room. Nothing further. Recross. They are motion sensitive cameras, so there are gaps, right? Yes. Nothing further. Next witness means that there's probably in between time where they can speculate and make it to where like it doesn't show the whole story kind of thing or whatever, and see they can kind of flip the video to make it not so bad. So then they could okay. The next witness, U.S. Attorney Comey. What did Miss Ventura pay you for? Witness states to have intercourse with her. Sean Combs was there too. My boss called me and said he couldn't find any of our black dancers, so could I go to the bachelorette party at the Gramercy Park Hotel in downtown Manhattan? U.S. Attorney Comey asked, what did you expect to do? The witness says, a little strip dance. A little dance. Male dancer states she was in a hotel room in a red wig, stockings, and sunglasses. She gave me a few $100. Assistant Attorney Comey states, what was the room like? Male dancer states, red couches, Astroglide, a lubricant. There was a man on the right side of the room. The man had on a white robe and a banana over his face, below his eyes, and baseball cap. From his from his voice, I recognized him as Sean Combs. What did he say? That he was into importing and exporting. He said he was having problems with my boss. Objection. U.S. Attorney Comey. I'll get back to that. After the sex was over, what happened? Male dancer states Cassie gave me a couple of $1,000. More. He said to give them my phone number. I did. Cassie called me and asked me for a photo. Then what? She called me to go back. I did for a few hours and then a few times after that. Combs always present. Yes. Any other locations? Essex House, his residence on 56th Street, I believe 210 at the time, and at her residence on Weston Avenue, I think number 10. U.S. Attorney states or asks, what name were you to say you were there to see? Black. I would send her vulgar text messages. Like what? You want me to say it? Give an example. I text I want to F you right now. How often do you, how often did you use baby oil? Every time. Oh my goodness, this is long. Okay. And then it says Sean Combs said we did have baby oil on. He say y'all slow down, separate from each other. One time he tried to have us role play like we had just met at an airport. We weren't good, so we skipped that. What direction did Mr. Combs give you? He'd tell me to step off and back off. How many times, if any, were you told to urinate on Mrs. Ventura? Defense objection, suggestive. Judge overruled. Male dancer states they told me not to do it all at once. Objection to him saying they, I've got it. Assistant attorney Comey, what happened afterward? Male dancer, they leave me waiting for hours. The whole thing might go on for 10 hours. They were headed to the Access Hotel. They said to go in 30 minutes. It was the first time he opened the doors as himself, dressed in a suit, no masks. How did things change? He didn't feel. Objection. They were Oh, who, if anyone, recorded? Mr. Combs with cell phone and camcorder. He took a photo of my driver's license for insurance. He said, objection, focus it. What did you understand? He was threatening me. So, whatever question she's asking wasn't supposed to be asked. So, let me refresh because I had this saved. I'm at what time? Around 2:33 ish. Because I know this thing went all the way to like 4 o'clock. So they started like at 8 o'clock and 8:30 in the morning to like, oh no, I think it ran over like 5 o'clock. So okay. It says, okay, threatening me. Went and Cassie was slumped over. He said, "It's not going to happen this time." Did Mr. Combs offer you narcotics? Molly, I guess it's called. I don't do those. MDMH, MDA, I think. I went out and handed out $100 bills. U.S. attorneys Comey asked, "How did the Molly make you feel?" "Sick and euphoric and like an idiot handling out $100 bills." "Who else was present?" "A guy who told me he was an actual worker. He was having sex with Cassie at her apartment." The guy was like looking at Sean Combs, and Combs said, "Don't you be effing looking at me." Co- Objection. Let's get a fresh question. What did he look? The judge states. Then U.S. attorney asked, "What did he look like?" The male dancer says, "Black guy, kind of skinny. We exchanged phone numbers." That is true. Yes, that is very true. This trial is deep and it's bigger, going to be bigger than OJ. Yes. Yes. And even at that, that's another case I think, I mean, in my opinion, he was guilty. But anyway, Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey then asks the male dancer, "Have you seen him in 10 years?" "No." "Did it ever seem you were not the first person there?" "Yes." "Half used Astroglide towels on the floor. After the 100 bills, did you see them again?" "I couldn't do it anymore." "What did you get paid when you couldn't perform?" "Nothing. But I never asked for money. I was happy to get involved with people with such notoriety. But after I saw Sean Combs hit Cassie, I couldn't do it anymore." What was Mr. Combs saying as he met Cassie? Male dancer responds. He said, "Be," basically called her a female dog. "When I tell you come over, you come over. I didn't know what to do." "Did you intervene?" The male dancer says, "No. I knew that the changes there were bodyguards." Objection. Sustained. Um, so Cassie probably didn't approve of the bodyguards and were not safe probably with the bodyguards. And the bodyguards were probably into this kind of stuff too. I mean, especially they weren't helping the poor child. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey, what's next? He said, "Are y'all ready to continue?" "Did you try?" "I don't recall." "Did you see them again?" "I thought I had developed some sort of friendship with Cassie. I may have been speculating." "I went there. I heard him slapping her. He walked out in a towel. She ran to me."
Good night, mommy.
Okay. Thought you were already asleep. Okay. Going on 9 o'clock. Okay. I was hoping you were asleep. He walked down in a towel. She ran to me. I asked, "Why are you staying with this guy?" Objection. Judge grounds. Donaldson, hearsay. Judge overruled. Male dancer, she said it was okay. No, during the break, the male dancer witness his is named Daniel Phillip, not Phillips, as it first sounded like. Welcome back, juror, but can I have the lawyers for a sidebar? Mr. Phillip, you are still under oath. Ex- Combs's lawyer, Let me show you a text message chain between you and Cassie. Is it accurate? Yes. You are working for a service, a male review show. You were a manager, male strippers for women? Yes. Was getting paid for intercourse prohibited? That is correct. Your job was to build it up? Yes and no. I'll go with yes. Objection. Sustained. You can't just go with whatever, like, you're not going to answer for the witness. Like, are you serious? Okay. Combs' lawyer. I'll just go with yes. Like, no, he said yes and no. There's a fun, like, about justice. Let's balance that out. Oh my God. So, did the company open fake businesses to optimize search results? Daniel Phillips states fake addresses. It was just SEO. Donaldson asked, You went to optimize the lady's experience." He responds, "I have no idea what you mean. It's just our slogan." Cassie told you to say the name Black. Yes. Your boss told you someone wanted a black man stripper? Yes. Let me show you. This shouldn't, the assistant attorney, this shouldn't be put on the screen. Donaldson, take it off. Take it off. Donaldson continues, she was wearing a wig. Daniel Phillip, yes. Donaldson, she handed you money? Philip, she handed me 4,000. Before any oil rubbing? Correct. She had on heels and dark glasses, Philip states. Where'd the money come from? Her hand. You were wearing a New York City Police Department uniform, right? I bought an NYPD t-shirt. You took the oil off in front of Cassie? The oil? No, I took my clothes off. She said, it's my birthday. Oh my goodness. So this was the stupid question. You get the stupid answer. Okay, you asked stupid questions. You took the oil off. Like, how in the heck are you going to take oil off? He's trying to get these witnesses to get mixed up in there and then be like backtrack and look retarded on the stand. Okay, game taken. No, I took my clothes off. She said it's my birthday. It appears she's enjoying herself. Yes, appears to be. What was your position? Missionary. I was like, did that just happen? Donaldson asked, she asked you for a photo. Phillips Philip states, I do not know if Sean Combs asked for it. Judge, ignore that. Jury's gone. Judge, Mr. Phillip, no conversations with the government. Assistant U.S. Attorney, agents, are you providing him protection as a transport, if that's okay? Sidebar. Judge, no, talk with your lawyer. Oh, something's going on. What was this? So let's continue. Hmm. I know there was more. I think there was more. Oh no, 9. Oh, but they're an hour, so yeah, that makes sense. Let's see what this is. Oh, maybe that was it. And they said we'll pick up tomorrow. So yep, that was it. That was all 8 hours in under 2 hours. So they're already bringing up. So they already said we're gonna hear from Cassie sometime this week. Probably either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll hear from other witnesses. So this is already like this is detailed, and they're showing pictures, and they're having these people describe, and like, oh, this is so dramatic. If you were having experiences and then having to go and relive this experience, my heart goes out to you. So I am gonna call it a night. I know it is late, and usually I'm not up this late. Usually I'm already in bed. I'm usually up early in the morning, but um, I want to go get me some ice cream. I want some ice cream. Yeah, more like humiliating. I can only imagine having to put your story out there, um, and then in a way that we as the people can truly get the full experience of your story or what you really went through, because we have to hear it through a third party source because they're not allowing the cameras in and things like that. So yeah, that's I'd have been like, no, I want to be televised. Like, I want to be out there. Like, people need to know, and people need to see and feel the truth coming, because sometimes reading it, just it's like reading a book, and you you're just reading words. Some people who actually enjoy reading, they can see the whole story play out in their minds as they're reading. But people who are not big fans of readers, or they just read just because they have to read, so they're just reading the words and doing and everyday processing and things like that. But so how many people enjoy reading? I mean, how many people actually read nowadays? I mean, too many electronics nowadays. I doubt anybody still reads books like that. But not saying there isn't, because there is. I'm just saying they tend to dwindle year by year. But again, um, let's see. I still wanted to cover a couple of more cases. Okay. Okay. Well, apparently the kids are still up, so I'm gonna go put them to bed, and I'm gonna get me some ice cream and get myself to bed because I didn't drink all my sleep tea. I left the cup in the kitchen and didn't go get it. So I am going to go. You guys have a good night. And don't forget National Missing Children's Day on May 25th. Um, if you have any information regarding a missing child, please report to your local authorities or call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800 The Lost. Again, thank you for being here, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And again, I'm out, and don't forget, pinkies up.